technical problem. Uh, it's so important that one remains disciplined. Otherwise, it comes back to bite you. But I believe we're now transmitting live via both Facebook and YouTube. So that should be fine now. So that's what we want. That's what we want to achieve. And so we're now there, I believe. Just making sure. Yep, it's all transmitting on. So we're now going out both on digital radio via Galaxy Affiliate, the Facebook, and of course we're also on YouTube. So it's all working well now. So sorry about that slight technical problem this morning, but I'm sorry, Lady Chelsea, we've taken up a little more time.
It's okay.
So I'm going to, I will shorten the usual intro,
It's all right.
naturally.
Yeah.
But I do nevertheless, despite starting a little later, I want to give praise to the Galaxy management. Yeah, I want to remember them because they're an example. They are an example of determination. Yeah, a desire to make a difference. I will not allow obstacles to get in their way, and that's why this station's lasted for more than 30 years. Commendable. A lifetime in some
Yeah.
cases, huh? A
Yeah.
lifetime. Okay. So I would give praise to the Galaxy management, notable, of course, Chief Pakumbabai, Elder Erikuti, Dr. Abu Ratata, and of course the Solutions Empress, Shanice. Never forgetting, of course, the one of the longest serving pilots here, that Nickel, the most royal. And never, of course, forgetting the reason why the station has been able to move from one platform to another, and now we're able to transmit because of what Ndidi, guess Ndidi Echewa, she said, it's not Africa's natural resources that matters, it's the technology that derives from that natural resource. And so I want to give praise to the engineers who ensure that this station can transmit for more than 30 years. Yeah? It takes brains to do this. I give praise to you all. There you are. I need to get that out. And
Yeah,
I'll be
that's fine.
very quick. I would just want to also give praise to past contributors to the show. And I want to just note our last week's show, which I think you would agree was quite interesting in terms of the
Yeah.
engagement value. Okay,
Yeah.
and noting, of course, that unless we make a real contribution to society, society will pass us by. Okay, so I'm really pleased that we had Councillor Catherine Rose and of course the lead officer Clement also here as well to talk about the low emissions neighbourhood strategy in the London Borough of Southwark, and noting, of course, the desire to hear from a significant proportion of the population, which are, of course, people who are considered to be ethnic minorities, or indeed people of African descent, black people, if you like, okay? Wanted to hear from them because we are affected by any changes made by any local authority, but certainly
Yeah.
this one here in Southwark. And I hope that those of you who have been able to respond to the consultation have done so. And I would positively encourage you to do so. Go to the Southwark Council website, and you, of course, going and you look for the consultation, Woolworth consultation. Okay, and that way you can easily find it. Okay, so please respond, please respond, please respond. And of course, noting the previous weeks, just to remind you, but Lady Chelsea, now I think that previous week was another example of the black people, African people being involved and making the difference. Okay, and of course, people who remember what we did in respect of both past military personnel who contributed to the previous world wars, and not forgetting that's incredibly important, that we remember our fallen heroes, and of course, equally as important, the slogan for the previous week's show was, of course, a child without education is like a bird without wings. So I want to give praise to Brother Nia of the National Association of Black Supplementary Schools, and of course the outstanding teacher, the practitioner, professional, Joan Green, who's produced an excellent publication on how to pass the 11 plus. Now, her formal book launch will be today, Saturday, okay, I believe at 5 o'clock. But if you haven't registered, go to the brightertuition.com website. brightertuition.com website. And there you'll be able to register to attend the online book launch. I want to positively encourage as many listeners who are listening today, particularly those with children, indeed, if you would like to have children, this is the place to be, you know. I know, I should say that, shouldn't I? You know, there's many who've got to have children, and you know, it's just like a program like this, you must prepare.
Yeah, it's good to be prepared.
Be aware.
Yeah.
I'm told I may have said the website address incorrectly, so it's brightertuition.co.uk. I repeat, brightertuition.co.uk, and it will take you to Joan Green's website, and you'll be on the launch page. You scroll down, it'll give you details as to how you're able to register for the event. You see at the bottom it says register for the event will be at 5 o'clock today. I wish to positively encourage as many parents and those who are would-be parents, or indeed those who are just interested, to go along to this wonderful teacher, this professional practitioner, teaching our children how to pass these exams. This is what we want. We want to see more of our teachers produce materials for the community to help us all do better. So I'm going to give extra praise to Joan Green. Well done, Joan. Okay. What did you think about that, Lady Chelsea? What did you think about her?
No, it was a good show. It was a good show. It was good to see that someone had a book that was there for children and adults, I believe she said, so they can understand. I think I remember it's not something that is taught in schools, so, you know, you have to kind of be proactive and to teach a kid. I remember my mum getting books and stuff and doing that as separate homework and stuff. So yeah, it's an important thing to do. It's transitioning from primary to secondary, so it's important.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that. It's such an important, notable event. And of course, the previous weeks we had the African-led Credit Union Money show. Yeah. And of course, we're honoured to have representatives from the Pentecostal Credit Union, PCU, Britain's largest black financial institution, been in operation for more than 40 years. And I want to honour Sean, who came along and spoke on behalf of the PCU, and of course also give honour to the chairman and representative of the African Cooperative Union, Brother Akram, who's a regular caller to the show, and his chairman. I want to give praise to them both, and I hope those organisations are in discussions. I spoke to the African Cooperative Union this week. They've held a meeting, I believe, on Wednesday, and they are intending to sit down with the Pentecostal Credit Union, so they don't need to reinvent the wheel. Cooperation is the way forward. All companies that want to grow cooperate with other companies, and where it's appropriate to pool their resources or consolidation. Let's see more of that in our community so we can grow our institution, grow our organisation. It's only where we are stimulating growth in an organisation are the organisation likely to serve the community in future generations. Growth is an essential part of survival. Standing still doing the same thing for 10, 20, 30, 40 years is not the way ahead. It is not being progressive. This station would not exist if we didn't ensure that we adapted to the latest technologies that now allows us, as I said at the beginning, to transmit via digital radio, Facebook and YouTube simultaneously. Hitherto, we were simply on FM radio. Can you imagine, Lady Chelsea? You're laughing, you know?
Sorry.
I don't suppose you know what FM radio is nowadays, huh?
It's been a long time.
Oh, you see, it doesn't seem that long ago to me, but I hear you from your perspective. It seems a long time. Yep. That's why this station survived. It's adapted. It's not simply put your head in the sand. So we're not only going to do FM radio. We're now on digital radio. We're now on Facebook. We're now on YouTube. Yeah.
That's good. No.
Yeah, makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah, that makes sense. You know? So I think that's right. I'm going to spend just 2 minutes, if you don't mind, Lady Chelsea.
Yeah, that's fine.
Give you the opportunity to do your bit in regards to Malachi and his wonderful book. I want to give the health messages.
Oh, yes.
Your permission. Yeah.
Yes, no, I think that's important.
Oh, it's so important. I was challenged this week again.
Yeah.
Oh, can you imagine? Why do that? I said, no, it's essential.
Yeah.
In our community, we have amongst the highest rates of diabetes and hypertension of any community in the country.
Yeah.
And these are essentially lifestyle diseases. So I'm going to give these health messages.
Yeah, you have to. You should.
Yeah, thank you. So I ask people to consider the amount of sugar they're ingesting into their bodies. I ask you to consider the amount of salt that you're adding to your foods. Yeah. I ask you to consider, are you drinking enough water each day? I'm told by experts you should drink at least 2 to 3 litres of water per day, but whatever's right for you, you'll know after speaking to your doctor or nutritionist, or indeed he or she is your coach. They will know what is right for you. I would encourage you to consider the amount of fat you're taking into your diet. You know, I've given you anecdotal examples. You go to butcher, you see these white streaks in your meat, and you pay for the meat and that white streak, and that white streak is just fat.
Yeah.
It goes into your body and organs, yeah, and that's the source of heart attacks and blocking your arteries, hypertension, and so on. You know. Come on, I say to people, eat meat, but in right proportions, lean meat if you have to.
Yeah.
Okay? But most critically, of course, as Lady Chelsea is now demonstrating, you've got to drink the water. Got to drink the water.
Yeah.
But of course, eat bundles of fruits and vegetables. You know, human beings live on fruits and vegetables, and could live without eating other animals' flesh. Yeah, we could just eat fruits and vegetables. You know, and I've seen some from Lady Chelsea's vegetables. Okay. You know, they're me. You know, so I know she does and works hard to stay healthy. Okay, let me tell you. And of course, if I've got to say this. In addition to all those physical things you should do, then you should exercise as much as you can. I've not had the opportunity, and I can't find my way to it. But never mind. You've got to remember to exercise, yeah? But of course, also consider the mind, yeah? Got to consider your spiritual and mental health. Giving yourself time to relax, to allow all the cares to go away from you, and give yourself time just to settle, to be calm, cool, and collected. And those quiet moments you create for yourselves are a source of inspiration and allows you to build your inner strengths. You know, and of course, have time to watch and listen to programs such as this. Of course,
exactly.
There you go. Huh? There you are, and that's why we do these programs, to communicate these positive messages to the community. Because we can do better. Forgive me.
Yeah.
We will do better.
Yeah.
Huh? We will do better. Okay. There you are. That's me, Lady Chelsea.
Thank you.
And of course, today's program is going to be really interesting in a sport which I used to play a great deal in my younger days. But anyway, I'm going to hand over to you, Lady Chelsea. Let's do Young Malachi.
Yeah,
a wonderful author. Yeah, go ahead.
It's a competition for the young people, the children again.
The book.
Yes, the book, the name of the book, that will be the prize that young Malachi wrote at the age of 14, is Tutankhamun, The Tale of the Adventurous Boy King. And that, yes, that's the prize for £25, but it's also available on Amazon to buy for yourselves. I will give the number now and then I'll read out the questions for everyone. So I'll give it the number so everyone is ready. So number is 020 348 15240. Then you'll be asked for a PIN number, which is 3707334397, and you follow that with the hash key, the hash sign. So the questions for this week. Yeah, now let me just turn this
Young
over.
Malachi, huh? Oh my God. Yeah, we've got to talk to him. I've got to talk to him anyway.
Yes. Okay. So the first question, this is for under 10s, children under 10.
Question 1. How do you spell Tutankhamun?
So that's, how do you spell Tutankhamun? And then the second question is for 11 to 16-year-olds.
Question 9. Who or what did the people of Kemet worship during the time of Tutankhamun?
So that's, who or what did the people of Kemet worship at the time of Tutankhamun? So those are questions for this week. If you feel confident enough, you can call in, see if you can win the prize.
£25 and a copy,
Yes.
a signed copy of the book. Okay.
Yeah.
To encourage parents and young people who are listening and are confident to be able to answer those, I'm told by this 14-year-old boy, are straightforward questions. Okay. And you'll get a signed copy of his book at £25.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh dear, isn't that wonderful? And of course, let me also give the number out. So parents and young people who are listening, you can respond to those questions. The number to call, it's 0203 481 5240. And of course, the PIN number, it's 3707 33 43 97, followed by the ash sign. And I've got to do it, Lady Chelsea. It's the vertical and horizontal lines on your keypad. There you are.
If that's helpful, then it's fine.
I've got to be helpful. What?
No,
You say ash and I say, what is the vertical and horizontal line? You know?
That's fine.
Generational thing, isn't it?
Yeah, that's fine. It's okay. As long as people know to press the button, it's all good.
Okay, well, it's all good. It's all good. But we hope. I know in some quarters, because the way in which many of our community are taught. Okay, these questions appear to be quite challenging.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is part of the reason why we do these shows, to raise consciousness, because this is part of our history. And we as parents have a duty to ensure our children are taught, at the very least, our history.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Well, I know for some parents it's difficult, but that simply means that we've got to do the research and help our children to respond to these questions. Okay?
Yeah.
It's an integral part of our history. Yeah? And those parents who believe that our history started from the enslavement period in Africa, let me tell you, without any hesitation, that is wrong.
Yeah.
That is wrong.
Yeah.
And indeed, our history is actually the longest history of any civilization in the world. Homo sapiens, human beings, us as it were, came out of Africa. It's simply a fact. It's simply a fact.
Yeah.
So of course that you find all the manuscripts, all the artifacts, all the skeletons, all come out of Africa for good reason. What has happened in more recent times is that the propaganda machine has been at work, with of course the continent's been dominated by others, and they've been able to destroy much of that history, the physical history, right across the continent. Yeah, look what they did to the Sphinx. You know,
Oh yes, yeah.
Napoleon had his soldiers destroy the nose because it looked like this.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
There you go. All right. So I say to people, if these questions are, we might read out the same for a while. It gives you the opportunity to do your research.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. That's
Nothing
fine.
wrong with that, is there? You know, because at least one of the rewards is you will earn £25.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
There you are. You know, and that's a positive response, isn't it? Huh? There you go. Anyway,
Exactly.
we'll see. We'll see. I know there are some highly motivated parents out there, and they're getting their children out to go to school.
Oh yeah.
Right now, and they may be going out to play sport, maybe even going out to play cricket in some cases.
Maybe.
You know? Maybe.
It's possible.
In fact, I jolly well hope so. I jolly well hope so. And of course, well, what we've got to do now, of course, Lady Chelsea, is now just go on and we give the parents an opportunity between now and the end of the show to call up and respond to these questions, and we might somewhere midway. I might have you do it again midway, because as I'm told it's a little early right now. So some parents,
okay. All right.
so we might do it just again after 9 o'clock to
Okay.
give those parents who want to get themselves together to call in, or the young
Yeah,
people.
that's fine.
I think that's right. But just go back to what I was saying as regards the subject matter for today. And of course, those parents who are all this morning to go out to either to schools or to sports, that amongst those sports, I know football is very popular. I know basketball is very popular. I know netball is very popular. You know, very, very popular. You know, I'm aware that swimming is very popular. I wish I could say cricket is very popular, you know, because it's what I would have played as a youngster. But particularly living in the metropolis and so on, it's a question of space and so on. You know, I recognise that. But I'm aware that there are quite a number of cricket clubs here in London. Okay, and of course, hitherto, and you can see behind us, the West Indies cricket teams used to rule the waves. Yeah. There were times, and our guest soon, we'll get our guest on in a moment, there were times when we could talk about our cricketing greats, you know. You know, it goes all the way back to the early part of the century with Lloyd Cunningham, you know. Now, I know you don't know these names, I realise. And that's why I said we do these shows, yeah? Raise consciousness of our own most recent history. Particularly history that you can refer to with pride, yeah? History where we've demonstrated skills and aptitude for sport and have ruled the waves, yeah? And we could do it again. We could actually do it again. And I do believe that with some determination with members of the community to encourage young people to play cricket again, that we will show this country that amongst our communities we have some outstanding talents. Okay, and if we can demonstrate that, I'm confident that parents, with all the sports I've mentioned, will include amongst their repertoire cricket.
Okay.
It teaches young people gamesmanship, or womanship if you like, you know, working together as a team. It teaches them to be punctual, disciplined, And I wasn't very good at that today, but I think
It's all right. There are problems above you. It's fine.
thank you. Punctual, disciplined, team players, work as a team, okay, being determined, seeing a loss of a team, a failure in a team, not as a failure, but as an opportunity to learn, to shape their attitude, I find young men who play cricket, okay, and are serious about it, usually hold their heads up high, It encourages them to develop a good physical well-being, to be focused. All those attributes you want to see in a child. Yeah, cricket teaches that child how to be the best of themselves. Okay, and why? Why is that happening? It's because you have a group of adults who are there to shape that child, so that child is able to develop and be the best in the sport. But all-round sports person, an all-round person. There you are. But this is true both for cricket, for football, or for all the other sports. But we should include, I say, cricket as part of that repertoire, that option that we give our children, those young people. So those parents who are listening, consider cricket. But I'm going to introduce some guests in a moment, and I'm going to get this show on the way. We're 5 minutes early, but I believe we may well have our guest already on site.
Oh, okay.
We just need to do some sound checks with them, and I just wanted to check: is Chevy on the line? I wonder if Chevy is on the line. You may speak. Oh, okay. Chevy's not on the line. I see number ending with 8405. I wonder if 8405 wishes to say anything. No? Okay. Okay. Oh, good morning. Good morning.
Greetings. How are you?
Hello.
I'm well. Can I have your name, please?
My name is Shania. Greetings, uncle. Greetings, auntie.
Oh, greetings to
Good
you.
morning. Greetings.
Have you called to respond to those questions?
I did.
Oh, gosh. Oh, in that case, I'm going to hand you over to Lady Chelsea. Here we go.
Okay. Hi. Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I also called in 2 weeks ago and won the competition also.
Your number. Now then, let me get this number.
Right. What was the name of the person who won on that week?
It was Danny.
Danny, that's right. Okay, hold on. So in that case, what I'm going to do, this time, I'm going to make sure I record your number correctly. But I think I tried to call and I was unsuccessful. But this time, and Lady Chelsea is also going to take note of the number. So this time, if we both take it down, there is no mistaking. And I've got your number, and your number, of course, ends with 8405. Is that correct?
Yes, it's correct.
Excellent. In that case, please share with him that I'll be in touch with you after this show, and £25 will be with you today.
Okay, thank you.
That's okay? Okay. I do apologize, and thank you for calling back,
Yeah.
I've been shouting out, giving a shout out that we were unable to get through, but I've got your number this time, Donnie, and we will contact you immediately after the show. All right?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, and well done, if I may say so. How's he?
Again?
How are things with the family?
We are okay. We're all okay.
And going back to school, when's that happening?
We're all homeschooled, so we have been in lessons all throughout the.
Wow! So you took no break. You didn't take a break.
A little bit. We went away to the beach, and we went to Bath and Dorset. We did some camping for a week with January. So,
wow.
We did have in between, some days out.
Mm-hmm.
I wish you were my parent. Huh? Oh, I'm almost envious, you know. I'm almost envious. And there's something about homeschooling, isn't there, that we need to think about, you know, as a community. And did you listen to last week's show where we had, thinking the week before, where we had the representative from the
No.
Association of Black Supplementary Schools, Nia?
Yeah, and we know him as well.
Yeah. Brilliant. Well, you know, you and I we're definitely going to talk after this show, okay? And this time we both of us have recorded your number and we'll be in touch with you after this show. So thank you very much for the call. Okay?
I wanted to also ask, I know some people may be calling to actually answer the question, but we also had some thoughts on who we thought was the answer to your question, on who the people of Kemet were worshipping at the time of Tutankhamun.
Oh, okay.
Okay. That's fine. If you want to answer.
We'll give other people a chance to answer as well, but we had some thoughts, so we would just thought we would call up and you know, because we know that he reversed the his dad Akhenaten's decision to make it a single god worship as opposed to all of the rest of the deities at the time, the rest of the gods. So we were thinking, because he, you know, there's different rulers at the time, so some have different opinions. So his dad, Tutankhamun's dad, Akhenaten, decided to get rid of the various gods worship and only kept one. And then Tutankhamun, he reversed the decision. And at the time, I think people were worshipping the god Amun. So we were just discussing that. So we thought we'd put that out into the forefront.
Okay, Mum, you actually give away too much. You realise that, don't you? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get you into the studio. You watch. Mum, don't say any more. Okay? I'm going to get you into the studio.
It's actually very interesting, actually, at that time, you know, just to get into the mindset of those people at that time, you know, how they saw things, especially in relation to now, you know, when they kind of make it, they call it what's it called? When you worship various different gods. It's, and they kind of frown on that, you know, and they call it idol worship, and you know, so it's very interesting actually to get into the minds of how people saw things back in those times, you know, in relation to how we see things today and what is classed as right and wrong, and you know, quite interesting.
Yeah, no.
The young people and do their research and come forward with what they, you know, think.
Yeah, no, thank you for your call.
Yeah, thank you for your call. We'll call you after the show, but we're now going to go to our guest now. But I want to say thank you so much, okay? Because you and I are going to talk. Okay? You and I are going to
thank you so much.
Right, thank you.
very much. Blessings to you.
Thank you.
Blessings to you.
All right. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right. That's exciting, huh?
Yeah.
We've got a number, so we need to contact her. Okay. Now then, let's see who else we have in the room that we can focus on. Now, is that Mr. Lonsdale, I wonder? Is that Lonsdale in the room?
Yes.
Ah, you are there. Great. And we're looking for Chevy as well.
I don't think.
Can you hear me all right?
That's it. I don't think anyone else
We
is
can
there.
hear. Lonsdale?
Yes.
Okay. I wonder, have you spoken with Chevy? What time is he likely to arrive shortly?
I wouldn't know what time he
Okay, all right, okay. In that case, what we might do in that case then is you may just start off with yourself, okay? Because I know you, but I want to give the audience an opportunity to get to know you. So my first question to just get things started, can I just ask you just to introduce yourself, okay, and just tell the audience the organisation that you belong to.
You mean as far as cricket is concerned?
Yes.
Yes. I'm the chairman for the African Caribbean Cricket Association, which was formed in 2013. To our main aim is to get young people playing cricket again. Yeah, and secondly, to get some young people of African, especially of African Caribbean descent, to become professional cricketers, to earn some of that big money that's out there. Yeah, they're missing out on big money, and I have my views about that, but some of it is very controversial.
Yes.
Yeah,
I hear you.
it's highly complicated, and a short show like this wouldn't really do justice to what's involved. It's not just sports, there's other things involved in the exclusion of these young people. Some people don't like to hear it. I personally don't like to say it unless I'm in small groups, because people get highly annoyed.
I hear that. I hear that.
There's on so many different things.
Yep, I hear that. Let me ask you another question. Can you just, for the audience, and I mentioned a few names to Lady Chelsea, and she was total blank. Yeah. Can you just give us a flavour of past cricketers from our community, okay, that have gained international notoriety because of their talent?
Notoriety.
Acclaim, if you like. Acclaim.
No. I don't think many of them they were notorious. They were good cricketers. And let me talk about some of the ones who were born in England.
Okay.
Caribbean descent. There was Tudor. Sorry. Oh, hell. There are a number of them. I can't remember the name.
Okay.
Young guys, I'll tell you the counties. They came from places like Gloucester, very unusual.
Yep.
Surrey, Middlesex produced a few.
Yep.
But the trouble is, I need to talk about those who were born here.
Okay.
And those who came in, because this is the distinction that I will make if I'm given the opportunity later on to make.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I think that's very important. Because it says a lot about the system as we found it.
Yeah.
And the system as it is.
Yeah.
Lots of people under the impression that when we came, we had a structure that we fitted in nicely. And I heard you were talking about history before you came over to me. Everybody seems to talk about, as far as the Caribbean people are concerned, 1948. Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't like that, but we'll use that for today. When the British Rush landed here, sailed in here in 1948, there wasn't one British-born black cricketer of note.
Wow. Really?
There were footballers, there were boxers, there were rugby union players, there were rugby league players, and there were track athletes. There was no British-born cricketer of note.
Gosh.
So when we're saying about what happened to the black cricketers, before we came, there were no black cricketers. We brought the black cricketers.
Right.
And over time, those black cricketers gotten old and stopped playing. Because there was no system.
Right.
We didn't have the system. We just brought cricketers and we played it, got old, and it's finished.
Right.
So there was no system in place to train those young people to come through.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and that is just a sort of brief outline of it, but it's more complicated than that.
Okay. I think it's going to be important in terms of setting context for us here to understand some of the history. so that we can look forward to the future. Okay, because the title for this program is "Cricketing Greats: The Future is Bright," and it's bright, if I may say so, Lonsdale, because of people like yourself, you know, who are determined.
It's right because we have talented young people, as you said earlier,
Yes.
who in the past have been missed out, and we have them talented ones now that are not being taken note of. And the thing that people tend to forget about sports people, especially those of African origin, when you are passed over, it's not finished with you.
Oh, okay.
It then goes on to your family, your children,
Right.
and that it has such a deep effect on your family structure. Yeah, that is why we're talking about getting our youngsters in the game, but we need to protect them and support them for some of the evils that are out there. So it's not actually getting them, it's supporting them once they get into the structure.
Right. Okay.
We need to do that. It's the same thing with the school system.
Yes.
Do not allow your children to go out there and fall into the hands of people that are supposed to be doing good for them.
Yeah.
We in the past have allowed this.
Yeah.
Right, because we handed them over to. You have to be careful on this here. Who weren't very good to them.
Indeed.
And it's done great destruction. Yeah? So we have to be mindful of what we're doing and support our young people. Do not hand them over totally to these people. So that's what it is.
Okay. So if I may then, just to pursue the African Caribbean Cricket Association. So what do you actually do as an association in terms of supporting young people in cricket? What do you actually do?
Some people will say big trouble.
But go on. What
I
do you
consider it good trouble. Since we started, what we found out, there were a number of blockages. Not just playing. There were people stopping our young people from getting coaching certificates. There were people stopping our young people from becoming good cricketers. People stopping our young people from becoming professional cricketers. And people saying that we don't like the game. Yeah. And that bit about don't like the game, that was just a distraction to ensure that the message got over to our people, that our young people don't like cricket anymore. And that is the way it is. And it's nothing to do with the structure. What we have found out is it's quite the opposite. There are so many blockages, and we were trying to remove the blockages.
Okay.
Luckily,
if I may, Lonsdale, can I ask you maybe to give us an example of a blockage that you're currently working on to unblock, so it's no longer an hindrance for our children?
Okay. Well, we found out that there are levels of coaching qualification. The level 3 and 4, those are the top ones, and that's where the money is, right? That's where, if the guys are employed, they get a fair living. And we found out in 2017, early 2017, there were 2,300 level 3 coaches, but there are only 21 of African Caribbean heritage.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
And obviously, if there are 21 of African Caribbean heritage in level 3, we didn't worry to ask about level 4, right?
Gosh.
Because level 4 is the highest, right?
Yep.
So you can imagine what that number would have been.
Yeah.
We've worked with a guy and we've managed to increase the numbers. And we've also got some bursaries to ensure that those young people don't pay too much for the courses. I think the bursaries run at 95% of the cost of the course. Right? I think now they told me it's now over 30 of those young people. So we are far way behind. But of course, when those things are brought up, people get highly defensive. Yeah?
Okay. That's interesting. But of course, what you're reciting is similar pattern of behaviour by English, Scots, Welsh, and Irish people to prevent our community from being involved in British society. I'm hearing similar stories in the health sector, the education sector, in politics, and right around us. So what you're saying is not unusual. It's not coincidental.
No.
It is.
See, I've been around here a long time. I'm old enough to know when I see it what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I hear you. I'm going to hand over for a moment, if I may, to Lady Chelsea. I think he may have a question for you.
Hi, good morning. Yeah, I just have one question. It's just do girls play cricket? Are there teams for women or for girls that are happening?
Well, there are teams for girls who play cricket. I mean, later on, you'll probably hear Sheffy's telling you that he has some girls in the African Caribbean engagement program, right? But most of our teams, most of our little Caribbean cricket club teams, they are mostly of old men. I hate to say that, and they will hate me for saying it. It's mostly old men with very few young people.
Okay.
That is why we are trying to push that barrier away. I don't blame those guys. It's just that our teams don't have grounds of their own.
Yeah.
So they have to travel. And it's very difficult to get young African Caribbean men to travel Saturday and Sunday, to leave London to go and play cricket. So we're in desperate need of grounds. And if you have a ground, you can also coach them, teach them how the game's played and the other elements of the game. Presently, we are handicapped. Yeah.
Okay.
That is why Chevy's program is so important. Yeah. They will tell
Is
you.
that?
Sorry.
No, it's okay. You can finish saying what you're saying.
No, you carry on.
Oh no, because I just had another question. It's just was there a separate league for girls, or is it all the same?
No,
same?
ideally, you'd like to have a separate system, but presently, Chevy, the girls train with the boys.
Okay. Yeah.
And they're not gentle girls. They are girls, strong girls.
I can imagine.
I mean, Tuesday I saw a couple, and they are, the age of sort of 10, 13, 14, 15. They tend to be just as big, if not bigger than the boys.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Yeah, and they are, true. I hate to say that, they are strong girls.
Good.
I don't have to think about feminine this and feminine that. Yeah. I'm old enough to know a woman could be just as strong, if not stronger than men, especially mentally, emotionally. So I've never underrated women. So I was brought up by lots of women. So I never had that.
That's good. Okay. No, it's good to hear. How many women coaches are there, if any?
I just told you there are 30 level 3 African Caribbean, those African Caribbean heritage.
Yeah.
I don't think there's there might be 1 and 2 within that number, but lower down, like level 1 and 2, there must be quite a few.
Okay.
Like I said earlier, level 3 and 4 is the money end of the business.
Yeah. Okay. All right, that makes sense.
Okay, thank you for that. Thank you. That was interesting. The number of girls or young women who are playing cricket. I find that interesting.
Martin, the thing about cricket is not only the playing. There's the other side, the umpiring, the scoring. Yeah. We don't have people in those roles. And that's what we say, we will just exclude it totally. We don't have committee members, people in position when decisions are being made.
Right.
Yeah. It's an exclusion. Right. I say it was planned, and a well-known journalist said to me, "You're giving them too much credit. They're not that bright." Right. So, but we are outside. Yeah. And it's going to take quite a few years to get back inside. There are 18 first-class counties presently playing cricket.
Right.
There are very few. I don't even think there might be 5 committee members throughout those 18.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
Yeah. And as far as those who are employed, it might be just as bad. one of my old colleagues, John Holder, made it known that there were no first-class umpires appointed by the English Cricket Board since 1992.
Good gosh. How is that possible?
Yeah, I think he's trying to ask himself the same question. So, and of course, in that time, quite a few put their name forward, but were not given the jobs.
Okay.
Here again, there's a reasonable living to be made there, so you work that out.
Right, right,
Where there is money, there's exclusion.
right.
Mm-hmm.
So, just to ask you in that case, then, because that's you brought us onto an interesting question on the player side and the administrative side. Uh, but it does seem at first glance that whilst I agree that they can keep you out of it, is the thirst or the love of cricket in the community, has it, and as sports such as taken over, because that's just a preference? Or am I misreading what's happened?
Well, it's as simple as this. If you're not um, introduced to cricket, you wouldn't know about it. Yeah. You don't see people playing it. Basically, they would have said, we don't play cricket anymore. We don't like it anymore. And that's the message that has gone around until we, the African Caribbean Cricket Association, and there might be other bodies, started tackling that belief. Yeah. But it was well done because the media ran with it for years and years and years. Yeah. And like I said before, I've got my own opinion, other people got theirs, but it was a period in which they were able to cement that view in the population generally, including our own people. You will meet people of Africa, Caribbean, and everything, said, you don't like cricket anymore. They are telling you. But there is one of our old players, a guy named Ron Headley. His father, George, was one of the greatest cricketers the West Indies ever produced. And his son played for England. They were questioning him a day, and he said, don't tell me nonsense about we don't like cricket. It's in our DNA, right? But if you have control of the media, you can do almost anything you want.
Propaganda, yep.
And they pushed it out there, and that's why you even asking me about it, right? Because that's out there. My views are not out there so much as their views. Yeah, but we are fighting that, and we begin to see when Chevy had his he likes to call it open day. I call it the trials for these young people to get into this program. I was present. There was 150 that turned up, boys and girls, mothers, mainly mothers and fathers with their children. I am a cricketer. I'm a cricket lover, but I was shocked when the numbers turned up. Yeah. And they were well kitted out. They weren't just coming for the sake of coming. They were playing unknown to us. We couldn't find them. But once I think they did a 3 weeks or a 3 week advertising for it, they were there. And there were some very good ones there. So it's not there as people think. But we have also got to play our part. We have got to work with mothers especially. Because in our community, if mommy says it happens, right? And I was so proud the day, it was last year, March, to see so many mothers out there with these young kids. And I was so proud, and it made me feel real good because I know there definitely is a future for our young cricketers.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Lady Chelsea, quick question.
Are you aware of how many women in your organization?
Well, yeah, we do. We do. Like you should have gotten from what I'm saying. They're integral part of our organization. Indeed, our secretary, she's more than the secretary. She's like the vice chairman.
I was going to say, right, secretary.
Yes, she's vice that. Yeah, we have quite a few members, and when we They're our main supporters. I've
Mhm.
recognized without them,
Always
our
is.
work moves.
Yeah.
Right? I don't have anything against men, but once you have the women, it moves and it moves quickly and
Absolutely.
successfully.
Yeah.
So we'd like to have as many as possible.
I-
We like to have them. We have young ones, we
Yeah.
have older ones, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
you know how women behave. They're quite stern and
Lady Chelsea is very stern with me, Lonsdale.
they don't play.
I understand. Don't you worry, huh?
They don't play.
Always the women, yeah?
Yeah, they don't play,
Always
and
the
I
women.
know they don't play, so we don't
Mhm.
play. We don't do things they don't like, or else you know they will stop it and let you know,
Absolutely, absolutely.
Mhm.
which is good.
Yeah, which is good. We want to encourage more women to get involved in cricket, huh?
No, we got quite a few.
Yeah.
We might have more women than men.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Oh yeah.
I suppose if I may ask, so where do you typically play? You know, there are listeners who might want to get involved, get themselves or their children involved. How can they contact you and so on? This gives them some idea. Because
Well, I'm the contact for the African Caribbean Cricket Association,
Mhm.
and on the internet you'll find my mobile for my sins. And
So, do you have a mobile and email as well?
yeah, I have an email address which is my name at AOL.com. Yeah.
Hold on. You need to keep it a bit slower.
I have a very posh first name
Oh,
because my parents are poor black people.
Say again.
So they gave me a name to make up for my lack of riches. So my first name is Lonsdale.
And how do you spell that?
LONSDALE.
Yeah. Okay.
And my surname is Skinner. SKINNER at AOL.com.
So Lonsdale Skinner is one word at AOL.com. Got that? Okay. And did you say there's a mobile number, a number that you could share as well? For,
Yes, there's a mobile number. I don't really tough because I need to remember.
Okay, don't worry. The email address is fine.
Yeah.
So it's Lonsdale Skinner.
Yeah.
LONSDALE Skinner SKINNER at AOL.com.
Yeah.
Okay. And of course, you represent the African Caribbean.
I'm just a member there.
Okay, I'm saying
I
you're
might be the chair, but I'm just a member.
again, you're doing that thing again.
And
Let
the
me
women
tell you-
will tell me.
let me do this. Let me do this.
I'm well trained.
You are representing the African Caribbean Cricket Association today.
Yes.
And you shared an email address for parents and young people who want to get involved in cricket. They simply use this email address, Lonsdale Skinner, and Lonsdale is LON, S for sugar, DALE, S for sugar, Skinner, KINNER at AOL.com. Don't worry, Lonsdale. We've got your back. Don't worry, we've got your back. And the work you engage in is important. So my follow-up question was going to be, where would you be typically playing cricket? We're in London at the moment.
We don't actually play. We're just an organization.
I realise, but where would you?
But there are a number of these small African Caribbean clubs.
Mm-hmm.
There's quite a few in the southeast. There are in North London. There's a few in West London. They're scattered.
Okay. Can you give us a few names? Maybe.
Well, you know, there's the West Indian Club there in Burgess Park.
Burgess Park, which is in Southwark.
Yes.
Yep. Burgess Park in Southwark. There is a cricket club in Burgess Park. I'm aware of that. That's true.
Yeah. The trouble is, I can't tell you where they are because they come from all over to play.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have like a Peckham club, right? No. There's Carnegie Cricket Club, of which I'm a member.
And where they're based?
South London, put it that way. Yeah.
South.
And they've been going since 1955.
Do they have a website by chance?
Yes, Carnegie Cricket Club.
Okay, so that's useful. Lady Chelsea, make a note of that. So Carnegie.
But when you go on the website, be careful. There are two Carnegie Cricket Club on there. There's one in London and one in Australia.
Okay.
Right?
Don't worry, I'm sure the listeners can determine one or the other, don't you?
Oh yes, one hope so.
Now, can you maybe name one or two in North or East London, maybe?
In East London, there's Hawks.
Repeat the
West
name.
London, there is
No, sorry. Could you repeat the name for East London?
Hawks. I don't have all the details. I don't have
Hawks, H-O...
H-A-W-K-S.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And I think there's an Antiguan Cricket Club over there as well.
And what are their name? What's the name?
Antiguan Cricket.
Oh, that's of course.
I think I mean, I can reel them off. If they really need information, they need to come to me, and I will send it out.
Okay, they can send it if they want to know. They can send an email through to you, and you'll advise their nearest cricket club. Yeah.
But most of these sites are wandering sites.
Yeah,
Wandering
I do understand.
They don't have a base as such.
Yeah, I do understand.
And that is a handicap.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So really, what we need to do is get a club which has got its own premises. They can operate from own grounds where it can operate from.
I think the one in Suffolk is probably one of the very few where the guys have access to ground.
That's right. It was formerly in my ward until boundary changes.
Oh.
And I most certainly supported the financial support to secure that space for cricket. And in the wintertime, it's used for rugby. So the club has been able to maintain a professional ground in Burgess Park. Yeah. So, but I was pleased. That's a small contribution I've made to that one.
It's a big one because it's one of. I don't think there's any. There probably other one or two more in the whole of London.
Yeah, I recognise that. What we really need in Burgess Park is to build a pavilion. Now that's the next stage. Okay, that's the next stage, to build a pavilion. So we need to think about that, and we will need to talk about the development of the Burgess Park cricket facilities and extending Burgess Park to include a pavilion. And that's possible. That is absolutely possible. But I require men and women like yourselves to give support so that when we launch a campaign to raise money for that pavilion and other sorts of money to support this secure pavilion in Burgess Park for cricket, so we have a firm base for cricket in Burgess Park. Okay, but I can assure you, cricket will remain in Burgess Park for the foreseeable future. That's for sure. Okay.
Great to hear.
Now, Lonsdale, you've done a sterling job, and I believe we now have Chevy on the line. Chevy.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm well, and how are you, my
Good
boy,
morning.
young man? How are you? Huh?
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you.
Okay.
All is well.
All is well, and you can see my co-presenter, Lady Chelsea.
Good morning.
Good morning, Lady Chelsea.
There you go. Right. Okay.
Do
Now,
you support Chelsea?
I do, yeah, kind of.
Okay.
oh, there these young people, huh? I love these young people, huh? Oh, we like cricket. Huh?
Okay.
We don't like cricket.
Oh,
We
we
love
like
it.
cricket.
No, that's a song. You know, it's getting there.
It's, yeah.
Yeah, give me
It's
time.
fine.
Give
We
me
didn't
time.
let you
Don't-
finish.
You know what I mean? It's pressuring me.
Okay. Now, we're somewhat limited for time, okay, and I haven't officially yet opened the line, but never mind. We might want to just probe a few questions to you, Chevy. First of all, can I ask you, please, just introduce yourself and just tell us a little bit about the organisation, the Campaign Engagement Programme. Just tell us what that means, what it does.
Yes, I'm Director of Programs for ACE. ACE stands for African Caribbean Engagement, also Accelerated Change Empowerment. So we are an independent charity that has launched off the back of a program that Surrey ran last year. and since then, it's developed into independent charity, so that it's allowed us to be national. So now we can go into, we've got a hub in Birmingham, we've got a hub starting in Bristol. Predominantly, a lot of our work is done across Southwark, Lambeth, and Croydon at the moment. And yeah, if we get more funding, we can go into more areas. So yeah, we're just trying to get more young Black British boys and girls playing cricket. There's a 75% decline in the professional game that now sits at 1%, and recreationally, the participation level sits just below 1%. So we're trying to re-infuse and re-engage the communities that have predominantly more African and Caribbean heritage young kids living in that area, and there's a correlation of lower socioeconomic people living in that area too. So for us, we're just trying to support communities where we know that cricket can help, where there's lack of access to facilities and opportunities.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And how long has it been in operation?
So yeah, it started off as a sorry program, January 2020, with a bit of a media launch. We did a kind of campaign, and in March 2020, we did an open day. We selected 24 youngsters, and then unfortunately we went straight into a lockdown, so we couldn't really do much. We only had four opportunities to work with the young players. That was 2 training sessions and 2 matches over the pandemic that summer. But during that period, we was working really hard behind the scenes, and we was funded by Sport England. So we had a bid that went through, and Sport England backed us. And so since October 31st last year, we have been an independent charity. So it not nearly coming up to a year in a few months' time, which is exciting.
Exciting indeed. I'm going to hand you over to Lady Chelsea, then I've got a few questions afterwards. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you see a lot of girls' involvement in it, and is there a future in cricket for them?
Yeah, so in our academy, we have 5 girls. That's probably five more Black girls than anyone in any other county in the country. So in any academy pathway. But in our community hubs, so our community hubs are open to all ethnicities and all communities. We just put them in places where we know there might be more Black children. But in our community hubs, we probably got about a 50-50 split between boys and girls, which is exciting. The girls in our program at the moment from that community hub, the team has played more matches than the boys have. So yeah, our chairwoman is a woman called Ebony Rainford Brent. She was the first Black woman to play cricket for England. She's from Loughborough Junction in Lambeth, and it's really big for her that we get the academy one day equal 50-50. So yeah, girls is very much on our targeted vision to try and get it to 50-50, particularly with Ebony and her background. And she currently works for Sky and BBC and does a lot of media coverage. So for her and for us as an organization, it is important that we can get more girls coming through.
Okay, no, that's great to hear. I wasn't expecting that answer. I don't think there are so many girls. I don't think I've ever seen women play cricket before, like on a national stage, like on TV.
Yeah, no, of course. So like for us, it's trying to tackle, I guess if we can get them when we're young, boys and girls, if we can get them when they're younger, infused to play cricket, then hopefully they can feel that there is a pathway within cricket for them, whether that is playing or, this is all part of, cricket as it is itself in media. Like I said, our chairwoman, first Black woman to play cricket for England, but now her career is in mainstream media. So, all we want to do is try and infuse the young people and empower them that we on our program that you can still be involved in cricket from a playing side, but there's so many other areas that you can get involved in.
Brilliant. I suppose if I may, just to take further what you've said in respect of boys and girls, young men, young women involved in cricket, and you said you were funded by Sports England, and you've now become an independent charity. So what involvement have the local authorities had to ensure that this particular charity can be sustained not for 2 or 3 years, but at least for another 5 or 10 years? What's the sort of medium and long-term plan for the organisation to ensure sustainability?
Yeah, to sustain, you need money. So you need funding. You need, a lot of our programs, our schools program, our community hubs, our academy pathway, a lot of that is reliant on funding. And it's important that we work with local councillors as well. Local councils, we have, I would say, not going to embarrass anyone, so we do have some better relationships with some councils than others, which helps with access to. It could be heads of departments in schools. It could be facilities in terms of booking venues and sites. So yeah, councils play a big part, but I wouldn't say at the moment they're the biggest part. But if councils can help and support, moving forwards, we'd love to work more. We've helped on, the London Youth Games with some councils. We've helped on facility guidance where it could be activating certain areas. So yeah, councils can play a big part in terms of what they can offer because they have the access to many people. Housing organizations, we've worked with housing organizations before. So yeah, the councils can play a big part because they have a wide pool of people and access. But also councils don't always have a lot of money. Councils always struggle with funding themselves. So that's why I'm not reliant on funding through them. We've got to create a better relationship with Sporting and the ECB, who's our governing body for cricket. So I'd say that's where we want to try and solidify our relationships for funding. But yeah, in terms of the councils, they can play a part more closely on a local level, depending on certain areas, because there's some people within those councils that have fantastic relationships with the people that live in those areas, and introductions from them help and go a long way.
Absolutely. Lady Chelsea, you may have a question?
Yeah. How would parents be able to contact you?
Parents can reach out, can email us at info@aceprogram.com. So it's info@ace program program.com. We're all on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Our Instagram is probably the most prevalent, and you can find that just by searching the ACE program, and that will come up. And
Okay.
yeah, that's where if any youngsters, parents feel like we can play a part in someone's cricketing journey, then yeah, please reach out and let us know.
Mm-hmm. And just to be clear, you said your schools program. Does that mean that you would take over a sports session and teach young people how to play cricket? Or how does that work? How does that relationship work? Just to understand.
Yeah, so we do curriculum and extracurriculum. So curriculum would be just going into a school and working. The best way we like to do it is being in there all day, so we can work with multiple classes in one go for a term. So we normally only deliver across a term. And that would, as their PE lesson that they would have, we would take that PE lesson and teach cricket. And extracurriculum would just be like an after school club. So yeah, those are kind of the ways that we deliver within school.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Fascinating. So this sounds like a really exciting project in that case. And I'm going to ask you a slightly biased question because we're residing here in Southwark. How good is Southwark in supporting what you do?
Not to embarrass you, Southwark could be better. If I compare them to a couple of other boroughs that we work with, Southwark could be better. Could be better.
Okay. But of course, you've got Burgess Park. We've just mentioned that earlier on.
They could be better as a club as well. They've been struggling for a while with their youth engagement. I think they've been struggling quite a bit with organizational structures within their club to support more youngsters coming through and activating that site, because it's a fantastic site.
It is. And my last question, then I'll give you back to Lady Chelsea. So within the program, and you're the director. So what's the structure? Do you have 10 coaches who then go out and do the outreach work? Is it just primarily you that delivers the project? How are you structured? And how could parents who might have some training help to support what you're doing?
Yeah, I'll never say no to more people volunteering their time to be involved in helping the organization moving forwards. We have a small team that is based out of the Oval, which is
Okay.
fantastic.
Yes.
But that consists of an administrator and two full-time coaches. We have some part-time coaches as well that go out and do a lot of the delivery. So in the schools and the community hubs. We've got a small team in Birmingham. And we've just appointed someone to start a team in Bristol as well from next month. So yeah, very, very small organization, but we're tackling a lot of issues within cricket and the structures and breaking down barriers. Where there is issues with race, and like I said, a lot of for us, cricket has a big race problem. It also has a big class problem. The same black, white, and brown kids growing up on local estates, for example, all have the same issues. So we're trying to tackle a lot of those things. But yeah, small team is small at the moment. So yeah, if anyone wants to help, please get involved. If you're a coach or someone that has got good works within the business world, or has certain skills or time that they feel they can offer, then please, yeah, definitely reach out to organization and we'll make sure it happens.
Okay. And of course, Lonsdale mentioned this as well, and so you've just mentioned it in terms of the barriers within cricket. Okay.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting because each time we go to any sector, we're discovering that there are barriers set up to prevent people of colour, ethnicities to make progression. Okay, but of course, you said the program, it was an offshoot of the ECB, English Cricket Board. So, what are your targets, and what targets have you set for yourself in terms of the organisational development that would be useful to share with us, so we can understand what progression you anticipate over the next 2 to 3 years, for example?
Yeah, we have clear KPIs through Sport England, but being honest and speaking quite openly with you and your listeners, professionally, the cricket, from the black community sits at 1%, as I said earlier, and recreationally it sits at below 1%. There's been a 75% decline. So our immediate issue is to we have to re-engage, re-infuse, re-motivate, provide opportunities where people can see young black kids and people playing cricket, working involved in cricket. So ultimately, we're tackling those percentages, and those are national percentages. What I said, they're not locally based. They're recreationally for the Black British community, it sits at below 1%. Professionally, it sits at 1%. There's been a 75% decline in 25 years. So for us, yes, we've got other KPIs. We want to go into X amount of schools, and that's all quite fluffy. The main issue is we want to show parents and children that cricket is a game for them, and you can't be what you can't see. So we have to show that what we're doing, our work that we're doing. And I think that our Instagram page is probably the most active, that we show a lot of the young people playing cricket, and just seeing it, because a lot of the young people from the Black British community that play cricket in isolation, so they're the only black kid at their cricket club. They're the only, in some instances, the only black child at their school in certain parts of the country. So we have that on our program, because it's a national program. We've got players from Wakefield, we've got players from Swindon, Bristol, Hertfordshire, North London, East London, South London, West London. So there's a wide pool, and they all face some of the same issues on the pitch. So yes, we have fluffy KPIs that we must go into X amount of schools and have X amount of children, but ultimately we're tackling that 1% in both sides. So we want to try and support cricket by getting more players in through the professional game, and also just playing the game and loving the game. And not the percentage for anyone to become a professional in sport is small. So can we re-infuse and re-engage and just show other examples of how you can be involved in sport? I often say to the scholars that we have on our program, they love social media, they're amazing on it. And I said, well, every sporting organization has social media, so why don't you get paid for it? Do you know what I mean? There's ways you can get involved that are not just from the playing side, marketing, events. There's so much happens within sport that these young people can see, and if we can inspire that through cricket and through the love of the game, then why not?
Lady Chelsea, did you go, Kirsten? Or?
Yeah. How can the community help you succeed in this?
Yeah, just keep spreading the word of ACE, and if they've got any connections into community groups or young people, access to young people. If anyone has access to young people that feels like cricket is for them, and for us, when it comes to cricket, a lot of our coaches, they're all high performance based coaches. So cricket has a stigma of being boring and wearing whites, and do you know what I mean? A lot of like wearing white clothes and standing around all day and fielding. So please, like, if the listeners, like, the way how we try to do our sessions is a lot more fun and engaging. So don't feel like if you're going to recommend a group of young children to play cricket, it's going to be that. It's not we play music at our sessions. Our clothing is different. A lot of our coaches, we even wear snapbacks. Do you know what I mean? So it's a case of, like, we're just being true to who we are, and we create an environment and a safe place for people to express themselves. We have young people on our program that turn up to sessions in a do-rag, and it might sound like so small, but it's so big to be accepted. Because if you go into certain cricket environments and certain cricket performance environments and structures, it's like, what are you wearing? Because you're like the only, I guess, black child that is wearing something like that, and they say, what's that on your head? Where for us, it's just normal. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So the environments and the culture that we try to create is a lot. I think it's more of a safe place. We've had examples of, there is we've got two white boys that come to our performance sessions, and they go to state school. They can't make the training for Surrey to go over to Guildford because it's just too far from where they live in South London. So they come to our training session because some of our coaches coach on the Surrey pathway anyway. So the training that we do is pretty much the same, but for them, and they're like, this is much more of a better place for us because we can relate to the children more, because a lot of the players that go to Guildford and train over that side are from a private school. So for them, they're like, this is just a lot more of acceptance because it's a bit more what they're used to, being from South London, and mixing with boys that go to state schools, so they got more stuff to relate to. So yeah, nothing against private schools. If there's any listeners, not trying to put anyone off, so they can. We got private school participants on our program anyway. But in terms of just, please, like, if you've got access to young people, you think we can make a difference within cricket, and it's not all about just the playing side. We know percentages are small. Yes, we're a talent ID program. We want to get professionals, but can we inspire and fuse and create different ways to get involved? Like, what the two of you are doing is part of that as well. Do you know what I mean? It's there's journalism within cricket, so why not, if that's something we can lean upon?
Okay. No, that's good to
and thank you for that, Sherry. It's driving. So listeners, parents can contact you. Is there a telephone number? Did you give a telephone number? Is there a telephone number or not? Or
is there a telephone number? There's my telephone number.
Oh no! No, I tried that with Lonsdale earlier. Don't worry. Email address will be sufficient. What we will do is continue to give out your email addresses in future shows, okay? So to encourage parents and young people to contact you. Now, I realise that I haven't officially opened the telephone lines. You've both been quite captivating. So let me open formally the telephone lines and remind listeners that the telephone line is as follows. 0203 481 5240. Of course, you ask to enter a PIN number. It's 3707 33 43 97, followed by the # sign. of course, it's the vertical and horizontal symbol on your keypad. Okay, so we'd love to hear from you. And I'm sorry for the slight delay in opening the lines, but both guests have been quite interesting. If I can ask you both, okay, can you point to in more recent times a star from the community who's played at national level, international level, that young boys and young girls can refer to as being their heroes, as it were? Can you refer to one? Either one of you could answer that question. Lonsdale?
Sorry. Jeffrey, you're not speaking.
You're mute. Chevy, you're mute.
Yeah, no, I thought, elders, respect to elders. I thought Lonsdale would
Oh,
tackle that one first.
I'd like to hear that. I'd like to hear that.
I hope you continue to do that, Chef.
Good.
I think the last one was Michael Carberry.
Oh yes.
I think he's from Thornton Heath.
Yeah, that's right.
I think he was the last one. Of course, you had children from Wandsworth.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you had the Freighters and
I remember the Freighters
in West London.
Yes. Thank you.
You had a set from Middlesex over in East London.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you for that. Let's hold that thought for a moment. I see we've got a call on the line. Caller with number ending 8188. Good morning to you. Good morning.
Good morning. Sorry, it is the morning, so my voice is really a morning voice right now. But
you've got a very young voice. So a young lady who wishes to play cricket, might be.
Well, I wouldn't say I wish to play cricket, but
Can we have your name, please, and you can put your question to our guest. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. Hi, my name is Nikita Nubia. I'm 25, so I'm no longer playing like cricket and stuff. But I do have a question. So I work in marketing, and like when I first graduated, I was looking for different things to do. Like a few years back, in different industries. So this is actually something that's quite interesting. I was thinking for people who actually want to start off in particular industries, because I know you mentioned like different like departments and stuff within sports as a whole. I think that's the problem with sports, is that people just think of those who are playing the sport rather than the different aspects of it. So I don't know if you could give a bit more information to those who are thinking of entering the sports industry but not necessarily becoming the players, because I do see an opportunity for those who are in university, want to learn more about either marketing, finance or something like that, but in a nice, comfortable, fun environment. So do you have a bit more information about that, or is that something that you're looking more to do?
I'm going to presume that was a question for me. So yes, of course, we've provided some work experience opportunities for some of the young people that we're engaged with through our programs. But also we've partnered recently with the Prince's Trust, because Prince's Trust is also a national organization. So we're trying to develop a proper life skills program that helps with employability, CV, as CV writing as examples, because it is important to show that there are other departments within sport that people can work within. So of course, if people do, if you're interested yourself, or people that are interested, please just email us at info@aceprogram.com, and we'll can sort some sort of work experience, work placement type stuff out.
Yeah, sure. Cool. Thanks.
I can't guarantee a full-time job, but I can guarantee opportunities to help.
Yeah.
And Corda, if I may ask you a question, just to be clear then. So in marketing, and of course, one of the observations I've made from our guests is that there's an information disconnect, an awareness. I've just asked my last question was, who are these sort of cricketing greats, that both young people and others can refer to as being examples of people getting through in cricket? Would you be able to help, for example, the charity to promote what they're doing? Would you be able to help them in some ways, do you think?
It will depend on what, because I don't really do broad marketing. I do more like the CRM, which is like data side.
Okay.
But I'm happy to get in touch or anything. But yeah, I'm happy to talk. Yeah, I'm happy to get in touch.
Okay. You hear that, Chevy? So I'll put you in touch with a caller after this show. So you may well have someone who will help you to continue to promote your works, Chevy. Would that be all right, do you think?
Yeah, no problem.
Excellent. Caller, thank you for that, and thank you for that offer as well. I've made note of your telephone number, and we appreciate your listening ear. All right.
All right, thank you.
Oh, and in fact, forgive me, before you go, have you ever played cricket yourself?
Yeah, at school, but that was a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
Martin.
Yes.
Before she goes,
Okay.
I wonder if she can offer the African Caribbean Cricket Association some of her skills.
Oh, there you go. Caller, would that be possible?
Say that again?
The Lonsdale's asked, can you offer him equally some of your skills to help promote the African Caribbean Cricket Association?
Yeah, sure.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you are, Lonsdale. Well done.
So you need to give him my email address there, Martin.
Don't you worry. I'll send the details through to her. I've just made note of the
Thank
number.
you.
Okay, that's good. Thank you, caller, and thank you for your listening here, as I said. Thank you so much, all right?
All right, then. Have a good day. Bye.
Good day to you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
There you are both. A listener who's offered at least to give you some support. How about that? Huh? Now, what else can the community do, and this is for both of you, to continue? I've asked a question, Rachel's asked a question about the community support, but what more can we do? Because obviously, in schools, it's going to be important, and if there's a school that doesn't offer cricket as part of its sport curriculum, how can a parent ask to, what should parents do in those circumstances if their school doesn't offer it? Should they lobby the head teacher, or should they tell you about it and you lobby the head teacher? How should they go about encouraging school to offer cricket as part of their sports curriculum? Either one of you can answer.
You go, Lonsdale.
No, Chevy will answer that.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's if a school doesn't play cricket, then it has to be that parent who addresses the school within saying, can we play? Can we create a team or what have you? But also they can reach out to us at the same time. So we can, with a two-pronged attack, make sure that we can access to school, speak to the right people. I think within school sometimes it's finding the right person, so finding the P coordinator, finding the head teacher. It's not all teachers that make those decisions when it comes to sport and which sports are played. And unfortunately, with a school, in terms of primary school and secondary schools, I'll say, depending on the area, cricket probably isn't the most favored sport by the teachers. So it's trying to encourage the teachers, through informal teacher training to show them the benefits of cricket, because people think, again, like I said, have a stigma of cricket being long and being boring, and it takes forever, and a lot of techniques involved in country cricket, so they'll rather just shy away from teaching it and teach something else. So a lot of it is down to the teachers.
Interrupting, Chevy, but that is the perception, because you watch cricket on TV. It does appear to be, at first glance, usually men in white, standing for long periods of time. So
yeah, of course,
examples of the different styles of cricket that particularly young people are engaged in through your program.
Yeah, there's many different formats, as you're aware, Martin. So, but with new formats like the 100 that has come out recently.
What does that
which
mean?
was
What does that mean?
Yeah, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. You know, I can't get there if you keep jumping. So like the 100 is a new cricket format launched by the ECB, and it's 100 balls. So it counts up and then it counts down, and it's it's exciting. You know, it's quick, it's fast, it's there's colored kit, there's the bells and the stumps light up if there's a wicket, etc. There's so many exciting points of the 100 that has just literally just been released. And I think the beauty of the 100 is it's been on free to air TV, which cricket hasn't been. So it's opened up access levels for people to catch it and see it. I think there's been a lot of cricket purists, let's say, who haven't believed in it or felt it's going to be, not the benefit of getting access to new people. But the 100 has been amazing because I've had people that I've worked in cricket for like 8 years now, and people and friends and family that have never once asked me to be, what's going on with cricket, or as soon as they've seen the 100 and the excitement that the 100 has brought, with music, with colors, a new dynamic. It's fast paced. You can see the score easily. It goes up and it goes down. People are now interested in saying, Chev, what's going on with cricket? They're asking me how their children can get involved, how they can get involved. And that's never happened before. So, yes, there's so many different formats within cricket. There's test cricket, there's 4-day cricket, first class cricket, there's T20, and there's the 100, 50 overs. So there's many different formats. Wow. But for me, new programs, if you're trying to infuse people, new people, young people to get involved in cricket, you have to make it fun, you have to make it exciting. With the 100 competition, there's an app that people can link it to.
I've got a caller on the line and we've got limited, so I'll just quickly take this caller with number ending 3098. Good morning to you. Can I ask you your name and your question, please?
Yes, good morning. Glenroy Watson from the Global African Congress. I just wondered. Good morning, Chelsea. By the way, I'm not ignoring that statement about supporting Chelsea, but anyway, being a Man United supporter myself,
I'm not sorry.
But I just wondered, cricket is a sport that's very associated with the African community. I just wondered how things have been during this pandemic and whether it will have an impact going forward. I do want to say something about our AGM today, but I really would like to know how the African part of the cricket community has managed during this period.
Chevy?
Yeah, so for us, one of our trustees, he's part of London, Nigeria Cricket Club. So he helps massively. But I think for us, in terms of the African community is, and the Caribbean communities, a lot of the boroughs and the places that we're going into within those boroughs have high numbers of African and Caribbean communities. So for us, it's important. Like I said, A stands for African Caribbean engagement. So it's important that we engage all communities within that. And Africa's a big continent, Caribbean's a big continent. So it's yeah, of course it's important. For us, we have like in the schools that we're going into have it's London, so such a wide mix of everyone, and certain particular parts where we're in Birmingham, again, those communities that we're going to have a melting pot of everyone. So yeah, we're hopefully we can infuse more African children to take up cricket, and who knows when we'll see like an African superstar coming through our program. But yeah, we have African heritage players across our program, of course.
Beautiful.
Okay, thanks for that. And I was just really, concerned that may have dropped off with the pandemic and so on. But I just really want to say, Mr. Motivator, that our Global African Congress UK's AGM is on later on today at 1700 hours, just to remind all of the African community in London. And good luck, Chevy.
Thank you. And
thank you
before you go there, well, just to be quite clear, the AGM is today. How can those who are listening contact yourself in order to make sure they can get into the AGM? What would you suggest?
Yeah, we're encouraging solidarity messages and people. It's on Zoom, obviously, and people can go up to share with us the day and solidarity. We have a guest speaker. But just for simplicity, I'll give my mobile number out, and if people wish to contact me by WhatsApp or text, then I can back information.
Go ahead.
My mobile is 074 11 11 3098. I repeat that, 074 11 11 3098. Thanks. I'll let others have some more time, because I think this is an important discussion around what we do as an African community. I'm very delighted to hear that. I haven't played it since school, but I listened carefully. Thanks very much.
We need to get back into it, Glenroy. We need to get into it anyway. But thank you for the call, and I do hope that the AGM today goes well. Thank you so much for that call. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chevy and Lonsdale. So if I start with yourself, Lonsdale, first. We've only got 6 minutes, so we need to conclude now. And I'm sorry that I've opened the lines a little later. What's your concluding statement, Lonsdale, key messages you'd like to communicate to the community in relation to your organisation, the African Caribbean Cricket Association?
The task ahead is a community task.
Yeah.
It involves all of us, and we need support from all concerned. Mother, father, children, everybody to support our organization in pushing forward this mission to involve the young people in playing the game. Mm-hmm. To attend, especially if Chevy gets 2 or 3 through into the Surrey Academy and onto the playing staff, to support those young people, to turn up to matches, to be seen and heard.
Yes.
As we used to in the past. Mm-hmm. If they don't see you at the matches or hear you, our young people are not going to get what they deserve. We need to support our young people.
Right.
You can't just sit back and say it's going to happen and point to somebody else to do it. This is a community effort. Mm-hmm. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you for that. And as I said, we'll continue to give out your contact email addresses in future shows. Chevy, what would you like to say? What are your key messages for the community today?
Yeah, please support and reach out to us. Don't think whatever you're going to suggest may not be able to be doing. You'll be surprised at what we can do as an organization to make things happen. A lot of the time, as they say, our glass is half full rather than half empty. So we're open to try things to make it work. So if you've got any ideas of how you think we can engage the community, access more young people, boys and girls to play cricket, then please reach out to us. And yeah, please, as Lonsdale said, just please support us and support these young people because they are the future. And it's important that we empower them to be better people and show them there are different opportunities other than football, rugby, just being on the roads. A lot of our young Black people are impressionable, and it's easy to get caught up in certain things, and some families and parents don't believe that their kids can get caught up in certain stuff, and they can. So it's please, we can provide a safe place for them to learn cricket and get better. And for me, we want a bit more of a hold in Southwark. So if there's anything that you can do, Martin, to make Southwark a bit of a foothold, then please make it happen. And anyone's in Southwark, let's do it.
Chevy.
Yes, Lonsdale.
He can.
Okay. That's good to hear.
I pointed out that the Burgess Park cricket area was a part of my political ward, and of course I've always made sure that it received the appropriate support, and I can assure you cricket will remain in Burgess Park for the foreseeable future, the next 20, 30 years. It's not going anywhere. But we need a pavilion in Burgess Park. No? So that's the next stage. And yes, Chevy, I rise to your challenge. I rise to your challenge.
Chevy, he is quite good at this. I am and
That's good to hear.
He's not letting on. I think he has his finger on some cash as well.
Oh dear.
Letting it all out.
Let it all out, huh? Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Okay.
Share with us your knowledge, your energy, your enthusiasm. And we want you to be a success. Whatever we can do to enable and facilitate that success, we will do here from these shows. So we will continue to give out your contact details, and we will continue as part of our show's promotional materials to include your organisations in our promotional materials. And we hope and encourage parents to get involved and young people to get involved.
Yeah, thank you both for your time and the opportunity.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Very much.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Good day.
You're welcome.
Good day. And just to say to listeners, thank you for your listening ears. And don't forget the Global African Congress and AGM today at 5 o'clock. You can go to the website, which is www.gacuk.org.uk, or go to the Global African Congress Facebook page. It's simply the name Global African Congress UK. And of course, Glenmore has given the telephone number. Let's make a success as we want cricket to be successful. Good day to you all. Stay positive.
Yeah. All right. Goodbye.
Pleasure.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
You seem good, you seem bad, you ain't happy inside. But just remember that better days are coming. Free hands will leave you all by yourself. But don't cry. Are coming. Better days. Better days.